#1 cable news show for 8 years and counting. The O'Reilly Factor.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the At Your Beck and Call segment. Tonight, as you may know, the Factor and the Glen Beck program are enjoying huge ratings. We'll document that in Reality Check coming up. On the flip side, CNN and NBC, their cable networks, are doing very poorly. In the first quarter of the month, Fox News had 10 of the top 10 cable news programs. That means the others didn't have any. We had all 10. That's causing anger and desperation on the left, and now some of these haters are accusing Beck, me, and others of inciting violence. As we reported last night on Policing the Net, these despicable people are using murder to attack people with whom they disagree. With us now to respond, Glen Beck. So you understand this is the jealousy factor here.
Oh, yeah. And I just would like to point out to America, no, Fox didn't have just the top 10. Bill O'Reilly had 2 of the top 10. Your rerun
was 4. Right. So the factors 1 and 4.
Yeah.
And that's why we hate you, because you were 3.
Yeah.
So if you weren't here, I would be 1 and 3 now.
If I could just continue to beat your rerun, I'll be happy.
Okay. Now, you would actually address, for the folks that don't know what we're talking about, the tragedies in Binghamton and Pittsburgh, where 14 people were killed in Binghamton and 3 police officers in Pittsburgh, were driven by madmen, people who flip and go in and they do this. And then these commentators, if you want to call them that, internet fanatics, whatever word you want to use, say, oh, no, O'Reilly and Beck, because they are complaining about the State of the Union right now, they're responsible. It's absurd. It is hateful, obviously. I tend to ignore it, but you actually did something on it, on your program.
You know, I mean, look, I mean, one of these guys on one of the networks, I think, was involved in a hit and run where the other person was killed.
Right.
Yeah, killed him, went home, said to the police, I had a couple of beers because, I had to calm down my nerves, and then came back. And he was telling his audience with a straight face that I was responsible for someone's death.
That was a CNN guy.
Yeah, it was an interesting theory. But look, I think it's ridiculous to even go there. I only bring it up because I think people need to know the left doesn't understand what's even happening in this country. I mean, here they are saying that we're inciting violence. America is not a violent culture.
We are sure of that?
Yeah, I think
we have a pretty tough violent crime situation.
But that's the underworld. I'm talking about the average person is not. We all want to live in peace.
With that.
We're tired of arguing, quite frankly. I think I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of the politics. I think that's the way most people are. The left so clearly doesn't understand that. And the media, all of them. Bill, I did a search on the Tea Parties. If you do a Google search for Tea Parties and CNN, how many hits do you get?
None.
0.
Right.
MSNBC, 1 hit. And that hit is from
by the way,
a blog.
Going to be April 15th, right?
Yeah. That's not some community activist
we know that the
group.
media in America is no longer there to inform the folks. It's now divided into political fiefdoms, and they're going to do what they do. But are you surprised? So you've been here now, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Are you surprised the level of hatred directed to you?
I have never seen anything like it.
Now, who told you that was going to happen?
You did. That's why I said, I said, what, a couple of weeks ago on your show that you were like a very, very, very much older brother. And
nobody bought that.
I know, it's more like a grandfather. Anyway, I think
here I am, and there he is. And
what I didn't say was that you came to me early on and said, when the ratings first started, you pulled me aside and said, buckle up.
Yeah,
they're about to come after you.
Right.
And they have.
Because it's industrial sabotage and also ideology as well. But when you're taking millions of dollars away from NBC, as Fox News Channel is, I mean, we're talking hundreds of $millions over a year period. They have no answer. They can't compete. So they'll try to destroy.
Do you think it's about money, or do you think that it is about a power?
No. It's about money, because Immelt and Zucker, the 2 villains at NBC, have directly ordered this. They've hired the guys to do this. And they've done it because they have no other way to compete. Now, both of those men are in trouble. They could be fired at any time because the performance of General Electric and NBC is so abysmal. But they did it, so they go, let's see if we can drive Beck and O'Reilly to do something crazy. Let's see if we can hurt them personally, terrorize their families.
Can I say something? When you have to explain to your 5-year-old why you have 2 police cars in front of your house for days.
There you go.
You kind of...
And that's driven by 2 elements. internet haters, all right, and the General Electric Corporation. They're there. Now, CNN was disappointed because they haven't done too much of that, but now they're getting desperate at CNN. They're now in third place. They're collapsing on all fronts. So I was disappointed to see their management, which hadn't done that in the past, allow that to happen.
See, I have to tell you something. I mean, you know, I don't mean to go all soft, but I know the management. I know the upper management.
Yeah, you worked at CNN.
And I respect them. I really do.
But they shouldn't allow that.
I would agree with you on that.
That was wrong.
I agree.
And that man should have been pulled off the air for doing that.
I agree with you on that.
Okay. But now,
there's a difference between the so-called journalists that I think are bitter, angry, and extraordinarily left and progressive, and then people who are normal. I think this industry is run by people who are so progressive and so bitter and angry, and also so isolated on this island. Get off this island.
Well, they don't want. They don't
get it.
They don't like the folks.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, they don't like. It's people. All right, now let's, at the beginning of the program, Laura Ingraham and I discussed, you say there are things wrong in the country. I say, you know, that's our job. Yeah. We're supposed to point them out. But if people are disenchanted with the Obama administration, they got nowhere to go. There's no other alternative right now.
This is why you are number 1 and number 4. Because what the rest of the media doesn't understand is these Tea Parties, again, it's not about Obama. It's about, wait a minute, nobody's listening to me.
Right. They want a voice. Right.
Yeah. When the left lost with Al Gore, they had Michael Moore. They had everybody there. We've got nobody. Because it's not. The Republicans abandoned the common sense libertarians a long time ago.
Why is there a lack of leadership in the GOP, the grand old party? What has happened?
I think what happened is I've been doing a lot of homework on the early 20th century. Remember when Hillary Clinton said, you know, I'm a very proud early 20th century American progressive. Look at the progressive movement. I've been reading this book called American Progressivism. It's a history book. It's brilliant. You want to see the future? You read the past of Teddy Roosevelt to Woodrow Wilson. You won't believe the progressive movement co-opted both the Republicans and the Democrats and shifted everybody there. We have the conservative progressive and the liberal progressive.
But look, in the media there are people who are pointing out that this country's going in a direction that you might want to think about in the media. And they command, because our ratings are very good, talk radio's ratings are very good, they command attention. But in the political realm, there's nobody there right now. Nobody there.
I've talked to a senator. I talked to a senator a year ago, and I was on the air with him. And I said, Senator, do you not understand here? Look at what's happening with the economy. And he said, well, Glenn, your research, I think, is probably a little better than mine. I said, you're a senator, for the love of Pete.
Well, we got to get Colin Powell back in the game, right? Is he coming on your program? Boy, oh boy. All right, Glen Beck, everybody. And I am your older brother or your grandfather? What am I?
Maybe you're one of my forefathers.
Okay, a forefather. You know?
A pioneer. A pioneer.
Listen, if
it's that 1800s spirit.
If the guy didn't take so much Botox, you'd really see what he looked like. Up next, reality.